Hey y'all, welcome back to Susie on the Farm. In today's video, we're doing 4 thrift flip projects for resale here in my store in North Alabama. I picked out this basket tin bucket thing from my stash, and what I really liked about it was that lattice detailing, and now I am giving it a coat of paint, and I'm using Fusion mineral paint in the color Bayberry. I only had to do one coat, and then I did a little touch up, and now I'm going to bring back some of that detailing, and I'm going to do that with dry brushing. I am using Fusion in the color Lamp White, I think it is, and I'm dry brushing over those details. And to do that, you just dip a little bit in your paint, wipe most of it back onto a paper towel, and then lightly go over your details. I also had a rolling pin that I wanted to work on, and I was completely inspired for this rolling pin by the lattice on that bucket. So I'm giving this one coat in the center of the lamp white. I'm going to let it dry completely, and then I am going to use the IOD stamp called Veranda. This was, I think, from last summer, and it has this gorgeous lattice that is perfect for rolling onto a rolling pin. And I'm using IOD ink in the color Stone Gray. I don't want it to be really dark. I want it to be kind of subtle in the background. And now I'm just rolling the rolling pin over the lattice, and I can't believe that I was able to get it perfect on the first try. I did have a tiny bit of smearing there, but that's okay, because next I'm going to put a transfer over it, and I'm just going to put it right over that little tiny bit of smeared ink. I've picked out a beautiful red rose from the Katharina transfer. If you didn't get one of these, they are supposed to be back in stock around the 1st of June, I think. So I should have more in stock then, but until then, I have plenty other IOD transfers available on my website, susieonthefarm.com, as well as all the Fusion mineral paint. I also have DIY paint, recycled decoupage papers, just about anything you need to do your own thrift store upcycles. So I just used the little tool, and I completely transferred this rose onto the rolling pin, and it turned out so pretty. I'm using the backing there to burnish it in, and now I'm using just a little bit of my finger sander to lightly distress the transfer so it doesn't look brand new on there. And now I'm using Bayberry. This is another Fusion mineral paint, and I'm painting the handles in one coat of Bayberry, and then this little rolling pin is done. They go so beautiful together. I thought about what an amazing Mother's Day present something like this would be as a combination. I did do a floral arrangement with some red roses to match the transfer. So I have these 2 bookends. They were missing quite a few of the little handles, and I did this last week, and I wasn't filming, but I just took some little beads, and I used the Type Bond glue to glue them where the handles were so I could have them. So now let's see. These are home interior. Doesn't have the year on them. Since I had the Bayberry out, it's such a beautiful, rich green color. I'm going to go ahead and paint this entire thing, and I had to do one and some touch-up areas. I didn't even have to do 2 complete coats. This Fusion paint covers so well. I went ahead and painted the handles and everything, and then I will probably have to go back over some of the gold areas with some rub and buff if I get any paint on there. The gold looks so pretty with this Bayberry that I thought, what would be more perfect than a gold gilded transfer? And this one is the Bell transfer. It has all kinds of embellishments and borders and corners and all these little beautiful pieces. And so I actually had to cut off some of the ends of pieces, and they're all just slightly different, but all quite similar. And I put a little bit of transfer on each drawer and the sides of the books. When you're using these gold foil transfers, you barely have to even rub it all. I did that first one in regular mode before I sped it up. But you guys, you just have to rub pretty easy on these and then lift back. You can actually see when it transfers off, and don't rub any more than that, because then you might rub your paint off or you might rub some extra off. And I finally got my camera right there where you guys can see better what I'm doing, and I just kept going until I got the entire thing filled up. At first I was like, is this too much gold? Am I adding too much gold? And then I was like, what? There is no such thing as too much gold, right? The transfers do need to be sealed, and so I thought I would actually try to darken them up a little bit just so they're not so shiny. They look like they've been on there a while. So I'm using some Fusion aging wax, and I'm just going to go over the entire piece, all the paint, all the transfers. I'll put a little bit on and then I will rub it back. I love how these bookends turned out. They're such an improvement over how they were before. They're just so beautiful and elegant, and I can't wait. I know someone is going to love them. If y'all don't care, please leave a comment below. Let me know which of today's projects was your favorite, and make sure to hit that thumbs up so YouTube knows to share out all my videos to all the YouTube viewers who haven't discovered me yet. I was picking up trash off the side of the road or somewhere, I can't remember, and I found this awesome rusty can, and I was going to use it in a craft we did at Book Fair last week, but I forgot this one. So I am also trying to make some little vignettes soon for 4th of July, so I decided to use the campfire marshmallows again on this one. But because this can is so aged, I need to age this up as well. This is my little bottle of coffee. Something else in there. What is in there? Hope it ain't like mold. Oh, it's gone now. Okay. Anyway, so before I do that, though, I'm going to use some of my Distress ink. This is Tim Holtz brand that I use in junk journaling. And I am going to pretty good distress all the edges. I don't want this label to look new because obviously the can is not new. I'm just going to go all the way around and hit the corners especially good. There we go. And then I am going to take my little spray coffee and just wet it down pretty good with that. I'm going to let that dry for a few minutes, and then I'm going to use the Fusion Decoupage and Transfer Gel to put it on this rusty can. I need to wipe this can off a little bit while that's drying. Maybe there was no need to let it dry since I'm going to turn around and wet it again. That just helps it go into this gel easier and get into all those little cracks. If you wet it, it releases those fibers and makes wrinkles disappear. This was a really easy project, and this has already sold. So now I need to do more to have some to put in my 4th of July vignette. I'm going to start setting that up next week. That may even be next week's video. Thank you guys so much for watching today's makeover video. Join me tomorrow night over on Whatnot, where I'm doing all vintage. And then Tuesday mornings, don't forget, I'm live on Facebook and YouTube doing a really cozy live chat and craft. Thank you guys for watching. Love you guys. See you next week.